And I want to close with a challenge. I want to close by calling you to more, because I believe God is calling us as a church to more. I believe that God is calling us to higher expectations, to live in greater faith, and to stop settling for what we have, knowing that God wants to give us more, right? As a church, we need to model the very thing that we talk about. And so there's a passage that in Isaiah 58, it says, "Some of you will rebuild the ancient ruins. You will restore the foundations laid long ago. You will be called the repairer of broken walls, the restorer of streets where people live." Now, what's beautiful about this passage is that it came up after we decided that this was going to be our church home for quite a while. May of last year, we had the property sold. We didn't tell you because we didn't know what we were going to do. We had this sold. We were going to make a pretty good profit. The leadership board and I met. We went looking for other properties, and we just never felt a peace about moving. We never felt a peace about going through with the contract and trying to find another space and to move us. We felt like it was just not right now. And so we decided to stay here. It was like the love it or leave it thing or whatever, so we decided to love it. And so the problem is that we knew staying here would come with great challenges. I don't know if you've ever owned an old home. We have, but you're always fixing something. Just something's always breaking. This is an old home, real old. And there's a lot of stuff that needs to be fixed. We washed a lot of things with paint and haze and curtains, and you just don't know what's going on, and that's intentional. We don't want you to look over there, look over here. The idea, though, is that if this is our home, this is where we've invited God to meet us on a regular basis, this is where our tribe gathers, then we deserve to have a nice home. We deserve to have a home where the roof doesn't leak. We deserve to have a home where all of our facilities are functioning at their highest capacity. We deserve a home that doesn't look like maybe someone's manufacturing drugs out of it. We deserve a home where represents Christ and his love in our community the best it can, right? Did I go too far? Okay. The idea is that we want to fix our home up. And it's not something that I can do. It's not something that a few of us can do, but it is something that we can all do together. And so we are embarking on maybe the greatest challenge we've experienced as a church. We are embarking on a brand new challenge where we are going to restore our church. We're going to create a fund where we are going to invite you, and I'll be donating as well, to donate to the, and if you could put that graphic up, because I can't remember the name that we came up with. There it is. Building Restoration Fund is the idea. And we're standing firm on this passage. We're declaring this passage that you will rebuild the ancient ruins, that the foundations laid long ago. You will be called repairer of broken walls, restorer of streets where people live. I'm inviting repairers and restorers to join me in giving to see this church be repaired and restored. And we want to protect the integrity of the property, but we also want to secure it for future generations of people to come to love God. I don't want to see it mowed down and another dollar store come in, right? We want to love this place, and we want to make this place a beacon of hope and light and love to all who pass. And so really quickly, I've taken more of your time than I wanted, but this is important. First of all, we know that the roof is going to cost us $5,000. Now, if you're a roofer or know about roofs, that's cheap. The reason is that insurance has already paid out $8,000. We have an $11,500 quote to put a metal roof over the entire building. Now, that's a good price. So everybody said that's a good price. Yeah. So what we are short, though, is the $5,000. So we need $5,000 to finish the roof project. Go ahead with the next one. We also want to whitewash our building. If you've been in places that the buildings are cool and whitewashed, that's what we want to do. It's a lime wash. We want it to be white but worn. We want it to look old and new at the same time. It's going to be beautiful. We're estimating the cost is going to be about $2,000. This could be 25, could be 3, but we're thinking closer to 2. Go ahead with the next one if you would. I don't know if you've noticed, but we've moved all of our offices to the house next door. And I use the word house loosely. We've moved all the offices next door, and it's really a nice space inside. You're welcome to pop by and see me. The idea, though, is that the inside is a lot nicer than the outside is in bad shape. And so we're thinking of wrapping the entire building with new vinyl siding so it looks nice and fresh. We're thinking that's going to be about $3,000. That's with us doing the work ourselves. The other quotes are hiring that out. I'm not going to get on the roof. So the idea is that this one we'd be doing ourselves to wrap the building. And the last thing that we know we need for a fact is that we have a building next door. It's gray. You've seen it. The AC unit has been out for about 2, maybe 3 years. And that's just not okay. We used to have our kids meet over there, and then we moved them over here. But it's a beautiful space inside that would be a great fellowship hall. It'd be a great opportunity for us to have lunches. I don't know if you like to eat, but we could eat together, and we would have a space set up already. And so $5,000 will put us a brand new AC unit in, and we'd get that building up and running again. Because I believe we're rebuilders, we're restorers. I'm inviting you to rebuild, to restore, to celebrate alongside your tribe as we begin to see God do something remarkable. Now, when we came here, we've done a few cosmetic things. It was fun. I believe this is big. This is going to be exciting. But this is an opportunity for you to invest in the future of this church and in the kingdom of God so we can ensure that future generations come to know and love God. This is what we're going to invite you to. Now, this feels overwhelming. If you do the math, I believe it's $15,000. It's quite a bit of money. I don't have it. If you do, I'll take you to lunch. The idea, though, is that I think this is a big amount. This is a lot of money. And I don't ever want to just imagine that we have it laying around and that's not a sacrifice. But it's going to be a sacrifice. It's going to take us working hard. Now, I would love to see all of this done tomorrow. But the reality is, this is probably going to be a year-long campaign. We're probably going to have to take several months to work towards this, and that's okay. We have built this into phases, so the most important thing is our roof. It has to be done. This place leaks like the Titanic, so we have to fix that. And I think a metal roof's going to be beautiful. It's going to last for 100 years or 15, whatever the number is. The idea, though, is that is critical. That has to be done as soon as possible. So here's what's going to happen. You're going to give, and you're going to show up one day, and there's going to be a new roof. And you're going to celebrate. It's going to be fun. The second thing that we really feel compelled to do is we need to whitewash the 80s brick outside. It just needs to happen. So that's our second stage. The third stage is going to be wrapping the house / offices. And then last, we want to work on the AC. And so as we give together and money begins to accumulate, we'll start working on these things. Now, if you have skills in any of those things, or you have some insight, or you know somebody who does work for cheap or likes lunches, you can have them come find me and we'll put them to work. But we're trying to get as much of this done professionally as we can, because a lot of this building has been done by people like me, and that's just not okay. So we need people who know what they're doing at the top of their level, doing great work so that we can ensure the quality of our building. So it's big. It's a big calling. I'm asking you to big things, but it's not something I'm not willing to jump in myself. So are you ready to be a repairer? Are you ready to be a restorer? Are you ready to be Chip and Joanna Gaines? Yes, that is what we're going to do. So I'm not asking you to give now. Emotional giving, it's fine. You can give now if you like, but I'm asking you just to think about it. Talk with your spouse. Look at your bank account. If you got a tax return, I don't know what your life looks like, but just think about it. Look at this as an investment. It's tax deductible. Your donation letters from last year are going out tomorrow. So those are coming too, but it's tax deductible. I'm asking you to give. You can give online. There's a drop-down box that it should say Building Restore Fund, but it might just say Building Fund. But you can give online. Giving online is great. If you're planning to give larger amounts, I invite you to give with a check or cash in person, because there are fees involved in online giving. Certainly, it's fine to give that way. But if it's a large enough sum of money, if somebody has the 15 grand, let's just bring that here, and we'll take care of it. Don't do that online. But if you want to give online, you can. You'll see other drop-down menus. So here's part of the requirement, is that we also need to raise the money for Cromwell, because it's not just enough to fix our building up. We also have to keep reaching out to our community. And so we are still raising money. We need about $1,300 for Cromwell. So we need that money to come in too. Now, I know it feels like we're asking for a lot of money, but we're in this together. The slides are just going up. Like everything we're asking money for is just popping up. The idea, though, is that I believe God's calling us to more. The question then is, are we going to stand on the shore, or are we going to dive in? Are we going to sit in the boat and wait till it happens? Because it will. Here's what I know about what God calls us to, is he's going to come through for us. But is he going to use you, or is he going to bypass you? Are you going to sit in the boat and wait till the roof's there and the paint's done and then celebrate with us? And that's fine. We'll celebrate. We'll dance, whatever. Or are you going to jump in? I'm inviting you to dive in, to jump in and watch how God ends up blessing what we do. So I thank you. I thank you for being a willing participant, a part of this tribe. You're not just an audience member or attendee. You are part of this tribe. You are part of what God is doing here. So give yourselves a hand clap.